Your chance to win $1,000 is here.
Be in this moment.
Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Check. That's check. Enter it now.
That's right. Get on over to foxphlgambler.com and enter the keyword right now for your chance to win $1,000. Good luck.
I never knew there was
It's a lovely day outside. Hello, everybody. And a good afternoon. It's a Daily Ticket on this beautiful Valentine's Day. Special edition of a Daily Ticket as we change up the intro to reflect this wonderful Hallmark holiday. I kid. I love Valentine's Day. I'm a lover at heart. Joining us, the reason why it's a special day here on the Daily Ticket. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my co-host for all things picks and roll, our Sixers Insider, a perfect day to have this gentleman in studio for the entire Daily Ticket, Mr. Sean Barnard. Hello, Sean.
Yeah, and it is basketball season front and center at this point. So happy to be here, happy to be chopping it up and ready for the prime time to take center stage with hoop season.
Hoop season is here, and that's the Z-O-N. All right, get involved in the conversation at FoxPHL Gambler, at FoxPHL Gambler. We're coming out hot here. Coming out hot because of all the rumors that we woke up to this morning. Was that Woj or Ramona Shelburne or a combination?
Yeah, a little bit of both there. Both getting in on the mix.
That was my favorite part. It was like you posted it and like everybody was like, yeah, right. Oh, Woj reported it? And then everybody backtracked just for a second. Daryl Morey was aggressive at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
On the surface, I'm curious to get the vibe, the pulse of the people out there, whether they agree with this or not. Because, look, if you're picking up the phone and asking for Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, or Bradley Beal, you know what your answer is, right?
Big asks, yeah.
You know you're going to get the response of no. LeBron James, I was in the spot, again, because the only thing I was thinking about at that time was the New York Knicks. I'm like, LeBron's not,
Yeah.
It's LeBron. But he is the king, of course, pun intended. He controls where he's going to go.
Yeah.
So it's not so much of Rob Pelinka and the LA Lakers to a point. If LeBron wanted out, he was gone. And on top of that, I think we have to look down the path. Is there more to this story? Not so much about January/February 8th, which was the trade deadline, or maybe about 24-25. Perfect day to have you in. When you woke up and read that report that Daryl Morey reached out to both the Phoenix Suns and, of course, at the top, LeBron James, about a possibility to bring him to Philadelphia, what was your first takeaway?
Yeah, I think you nailed it, that this is less about him actually getting a deal done at the deadline. He knew the answer to that. He knew the way that was going to play out, but this is more about laying the groundwork for something that could play out for the Sixers team in the future. And two very different situations here, that with LeBron James, Daryl Morey's seeing exactly what everyone is, of the cryptic tweets, LeBron kind of teasing like he's not sure he wants to be there. And as a general manager or president of basketball operations, it's your job to make that phone call at the minimum. So it was worth it for Daryl Morey. And if you do want to connect some of the LeBron James dots to Philadelphia, we always kind of made this connection to Ben Simmons, but there's a nice new all-star point guard with connections to Clutch Sports who has trained with LeBron James under Chris Johnson hoops, that there is a relationship there with Tyrese Maxey. So there is something that it was worth at least making the phone call. And then in the other situation with the Suns is the Sixers, all they've spoken about is this flexibility, keeping all the options open, keeping the salary cap available. The Suns are in the exact opposite spot. And if this team actually wants to have any sort of roster, real construction or making progress as changes, they're going to have to dump one of these salaries. So the Sixers could look at themselves as an escape route for this Phoenix team. If that's something down the line, again, I don't think any of this was that serious at the deadline, but this is about laying the groundwork for the future.
There's two ways of looking at it. We just laid out the positive. I'm all about the positive. I see nothing negative about this, right?
Yeah.
But was Daryl Morey wasting time?
I mean, in Daryl's defense, once again, is he walked away with the best player traded at the deadline in Buddy Hield. That I do think it was a tough market that he had to work with, and I think he ultimately outperformed what many gave him credit for off the initial reactions, at least.
Yeah, definitely. Hand in the air. As we, look, we always said it where it was like, all right, well, let me see the finished product.
Right.
But of course. All right. At Fox PHL Gambler, wide open to the people. And we'll even take some calls. As I said, this is the off season, baby. So you bring it here. 610-784-0501. You want to talk some Sixers, some NBA, you lay it on us. We'll get you on the air right now. 610-784-0501. Got the numbers on the screen right there. All you got to do is give us your name. We'll punch you right up. Now, Sixers add LeBron James. What does that look like, right? Like, do they have to draft Bronny? Is that a guarantee? Is this a good thing to add LeBron James at his age? Again, just allow me to dream for a second, because we're going to get into another scenario, which, of course, he probably should have thought longer and harder about. But the Sixers end up scoring LeBron James. First of all, what are they trading to get him? How does that even get to like a conversation of yes or no?
It starts with LeBron James saying, I want to play for the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah.
Then it's something along the lines of Tobias Harris and as many first-round picks as you can bring. The Tyrese Maxey is obviously the calling card here. That's going to be what the Lakers really want, and that's where we start to have some issues and conversations here. And I did want to bring up the Bronny James side of things. This is more projecting the future again. I'm just going to read you Bronny James' stats so far at USC, that in 16 games, he's averaging 5.8 points, 3.0 rebounds, and 2.6 assists. He's shooting 27.1% from three. I like Bronny James more so than the stats would indicate, but he's not a guy that I have circled as a one-and-done can't-miss prospect, and does add an interesting twist to a lot of this.
Yeah, well, look, you draft him. You add them in like, after the draft. I don't know if that's possible. I don't know what the stipulations would be for LeBron, but yeah. Let me ask you this. Just have some fun here. Tyrese Maxey has to go. 3 first-round picks. Whatever else has to be added in there. Tobias Harris for the contract, right? Are you making that move?
At this deadline, I would not. And that has more to do with you don't know what you're getting with Joel Embiid. If you're making that move, if we have a fully healthy Joel Embiid, I can be much more swayed into having this conversation. For what the Sixers specific situation is, that they're more or less treading water until they get the big fella, the lead singer, to step back into center court and take things home, that they still got to kind of weigh the risk and reward versus going for it now and going for it later. So was a lot of the issues at this deadline. I don't think you can give up for Tyrese Maxey when you know that that's kind of the balance you're striking.
Man, these conversations get more intense and more intense because of how good Tyrese Maxey has played, right? He's an all-star. You bring it back to the Damian Lillard. I'm sure it was 50-50, 60-40. Yes. I don't know. I wasn't a slam dunk yes, but I would definitely entertain. And the big thing that I came away from that conversation with Damian Lillard in the offseason was, and it was more so because the deal didn't happen. I just said the expectations, the bar has now been raised on Tyrese, and he's answered.
Absolutely.
He's answered. So the challenge was there, and he's answered and more. So, of course, with his first all-star appearance this weekend in Indianapolis. All right. Sean Barnard with us. All things Sixers and NBA to open up. 3:35. We got Julian Edlow from DraftKings Sportsbook. Back to LeBron James and the Golden State Warriors. If you're LeBron, should you go?
Yes, I'm out on this Lakers team to an extent. I think more so than LeBron is. That I really think the general plan for LeBron James was to eventually pass the baton to Anthony Davis, allow him to be that driving force. And there have been points in time where AD has answered that call, where he has been that guy. And defensively, he's been nothing short of terrific pretty much through his entire extent in LA. But as far as a guy that can just carry a team on a night-to-night basis, I just don't think that's Anthony Davis. And I think LeBron's had to continually put more strain on himself to make sure that the team has the type of success that they need to. So judging by that, you have to look for a team that has other options for taking some offensive pressure off your shoulders. That's Steph Curry. It doesn't get much clearer than that. And I do think that there's a little bit of these two guys are the most influential basketball players of this era of basketball, that there is something to them wanting to team up, them wanting to leave that legacy and have those opportunities. I do think it would be cool to watch. It'd be a last hurrah for both of them for sure. But I do think that there's an appeal there, likely from both sides.
Absolutely. Right. Like, I love the fact that the Warriors reached out. It's brilliant. Now, again, what does that deal look like? It starts with LeBron saying, I'm cool. I'm out. I'm done. Warriors have the best asking price, or at least bringing the most to the table. What is it? Where does it start for the Golden State Warriors perspective?
Kuminga and Clay is off the top of my head. Kuminga, I do think, is a genuinely really nice young piece that a team would want to add. And then Klay Thompson, more of a salary filler there. It's going to be a lot of draft capital. If you're the Lakers, you got to be looking at some sort of rebuild. If that is the situation, would not surprise. You'd be going into full blowout territory if you trade LeBron James there. So I think Kuminga would probably be the building block of the actual deal. Klay Thompson from a salary perspective, and then whatever picks it takes to make it flow. But as we all circle back to, it starts with LeBron James sitting in that offense saying, I want to play here.
So we know, and you and I just talked yesterday on the Daily Ticket about where we're at with the Warriors right now. Game over 500, really looking like, hey, they're back being a championship caliber basketball team. Never poured dirt on them, but their record reflected really poorly on them. First time that they've lost all these games at home. A lot had to do with Draymond, but you see, like, was the suspension a good thing? Like, it just seems like they're recharged and ready to go. Draymond he hasn't changed. Maybe he won't throw an elbow at some guy's head when he's not looking, but everything else is still the same. He's barking. He's being Draymond, which is a championship caliber basketball player that is a big piece for that Golden State Warriors team. If the Warriors were able to get LeBron James, is that it? Are they the top of the chart? Are we bumping them in front of the Nuggets as far as the West?
They're a ticket to the dance team to me, that even now you just got to get in. If they got to take it in, they got a chance. They're currently sitting at 10th place in the Western Conference. That says a little more about how deep the West has been, that their record, they're one game over 500, 26-25. For reference, if you had that record in the Eastern Conference, you were sitting at the right in the 8th seed, right above right around the Orlando Magic. So not that big of a difference, but still comfortably in the playoffs versus sitting at the 10th seed. I think that puts them right in that same conversation. As I keep coming back to with the Warriors talk, is Steph Curry still got it. He's still got the life in his legs. He still has nights where he absolutely takes over. That game winner he hit this weekend was awesome. Like that's Steph Curry right there. So
it's ridiculous.
I think if you have Steph Curry and LeBron James on the floor, you pretty much can't count that team out whatsoever. And I do think that's a team that goes toe-to-toe with the Denver Nuggets, the Oklahoma City Thunder, or whoever else you want to throw at them.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on that one. Tonight, great matchup in the NBA with the Golden State Warriors taking on the LA Clippers, game being played in Golden State. We're going to hit on the card. We got a lot to do on today's Daily Ticket. It's great to have Sean Barnard in here on today with all the hot and heavy rumors that hit our timeline bright and early this morning. Luke Arcaini texted the group, and my jaw was on the floor because I remember I was just going upstairs, and in background I heard ESPN say something like the Golden State Warriors reached out to the Lakers to get LeBron James. I didn't hear anything about the Sixers. So then when Luke sent that piece, I'm just like, are you kidding? All right. Look, Daryl Morey deserves a lot of credit for what he did make happen. I still haven't got a grade from you. I don't think I asked you. What's your grade after it's all said and done for Daryl Morey this trade deadline?
This is post Kyle Lowry signing. Now
Correct.
That's official. I'll go B minus still. Okay. That there's still a little bit of me that has me wanting more, but now that the Lowry deal is official, I can kind of rest my hat a little more. That was kind of the asterisk I had next to it. Is this all makes sense if the Lowry signing comes in, moving on from Pat Bev, adding Campaign, the second round pick, all these things. If Lowry had elected not to sign with the Sixers, I think Morey looks pretty foolish for some of these decisions. So glad it all came together. I'm not quite the Campaign guy, although he's been very good so far in the Sixers uniform. So I think Lowry makes it all come together a little more.
Sixers 3-point favorites tonight at home, taking on the Miami Heat, 225. The Heat with an incredible win last night against the Milwaukee Bucks, one that we did not see coming, and stayed under the game total of 223. But man, the Miami Heat went over their team total with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter and essentially had 3 starters.
Yeah.
You had Bam catching lobs from Tyler Hero, and that was about it. It was just ridiculous. What a game by the Miami Heat. And, just when you want to start giving the Milwaukee Bucks a little bit of credit, are they turning the corner? Next thing you know, you're like, all right, yeah, Doc Rivers is still the coach. So we will hit on all of it. Once again, Daily Ticket, Sean Barnard with me for the full show. We got Julian Edlow from DraftKings Sportsbook. He's going to join us at 3:35, give us his leans, and, of course, we'll talk some big picture stuff as far as the NBA is concerned. Other side, let's fire up DraftKings Sportsbook and hit on all of these games. Full card in the NBA, of course, with the NBA All-Star Game fast approaching here. Games on Thursday, nothing on Friday. Jam-packed action all throughout the course of the night in the association. We'll hit bid on them all on the other side. It's the Daily Ticket. Get involved in the conversation at Fox PHL Gambler. More after this.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Things are really tied up while whipping into New Jersey. Crawling Broad Street across the bridge due to road work in the right lane. Ben Franklin Bridge would be better, though the Race Street on-ramp to the Ben Franklin Bridge is blocked with an overturned truck. Westbound Schuylkill Jan, University Divine. Architella, total traffic.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need for the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
For John's 60th birthday, his family planned to drive down Old Route 66. But the trip took a detour when his wife got sick with RSV. It's a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems and hospitalizations.
This year, we don't want to cancel our plans. We're protecting ourselves with Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, respiratory syncytial virus vaccine.
Abrysvo, a vaccine to prevent lower respiratory disease from RSV in people 60 years and older. It's not for everyone and may not protect all who receive it. Don't get Abrysvo if you've had an allergic reaction to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may decrease your response. Most common side effects are tiredness, headache, injection site pain, and muscle pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit abrysvo.com.
So don't wait. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, because every breath matters.
When something happens to your kitchen and you say,
"This is ludicrous,"
you get...
Having trouble? Don't panic. Don't be alarmed. You need to file a claim? Holla at State Farm.
That's right. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
KFC's new Smashed Potato Bowl is out here looking like an absolute snack. For just $3.49, you get crispy secret recipe fries topped with creamy mashed potatoes, cheese sauce, bacon crumbles, and even more melty cheese. If you're looking to smash your hunger, grab KFC's new Smashed Potato Bowl for just $3.49. For a little extra, add nuggets to the mix. It's finger-licking good. Prices and participation may vary. Tax, tip, and fees extra.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law.
Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com. Oh, to all the lovers out there, happy Valentine's Day. It is the Daily Ticket. Sean Brace, Sean Barnard with you. SBs for the full show. Julian Edlow from DraftKings Sportsbook, 335. We'll get all of his plays for tonight. A little college hoops conversation as well. Syracuse with the upset against UNC last night. Pretty good games across the board. Baylor won. Man, enjoyed some college hoops last night. NBA did okay, but the one play that we put out here, tough sled in there as Miami Heat played really, really well. But ain't that the NBA?
Yeah, shot the lights out. Shot 47.5% from 3.
Oh, come on.
Tough when opponents doing that.
Yeah, a team total 107 was cooked with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. At the end of the first, they had 42 points. My jaw was on the ground. I pull up my phone. I'm just like, all right, that's cooked.
Yeah.
I had I had the game under with a parlay with the Suns on the money line, so that hit. But my one play obviously cooked. All right, before that last break, you said Pat Bev.
Mm-hmm.
Subscribe to the pod. We're still fans of Pat Bev. Always have, always will be, except when they play the 76ers. Saying he had some things to say on his recent podcast. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to grab those clips, but had something to say about the Philadelphia 76ers versus the Milwaukee Bucks, and because Tobias Harris reached out to him.
Yeah, Pat Bev did a little stroll down memory lane with Roan, kind of discussing his final days in Philly and asking things. And he said that he had a phone call with Tobias Harris a couple days after, and Tobias asked what was the biggest difference between Milwaukee and Philadelphia. Obviously, still very new in it, but what Pat said was, all anyone here cares about is winning. There's no care for stats. There's no comments on this. So our little interesting that I kind of a little bit of a read between the lines, and shout out to Roan, who does an awesome job. And he did kind of pry there that he was like, so what you're saying is that maybe you've been in situations where guys do, and Pat didn't really bite beyond that. But he also mentioned kind of the Daryl Morey, James Harden conversations where Roan was asked about is James Harden a liar, or is Daryl Morey a liar? Is James Harden right about that? And Pat's response was, I'm just going to say James Harden wasn't wrong. So a little bit of harsh feelings there and some interesting comments overall for a guy that is well liked in Philly still.
Yeah, I think Daryl Morey addressed it on the press conference after the press conference, or it was pregame press conference, because we were coming back for Vegas. It was that Friday. And he said, look, when he asked me at the time, everything was going great. Like, I get it. I'm not the player. So, of course, these guys are going to have their feelings hurt and understood, right? James Harden and him go back a long time ago. We know there's history. He took it a certain way. That's understood. But I do believe Daryl Morey when he says, hey, Pat Bev asked me. And first of all, Pat Bev, I love you, but you're not untouchable, bro. Come on.
Yeah. And Pat knows that, too.
Okay. Yeah. It's like, yeah, he definitely knows that. But I think there's lying and there's levels to lying. Just like with anything, right? You're a general manager. You are going to fib. You are going
You have to.
Yeah, you have to. You got to play both sides. So, again, we were not fans of moving Pat Bev, not so much because of the player. I just love the mentality. I wanted to see what this team looked like come playoff time with a guy like that, having that backbone inside the huddle, on the bench. It just thought he provided so much worth. But at the end of the day, man, you need players to score. You need players that can do it all. And he lacked a little bit on the offensive side. So here we are.
And one of the comments that Pat also touched on it is Doc got his guy in Pat Bev and Nick Nurse got his guy in Kyle Lowry.
That's true.
Is that kind of relationship there between both of them? So maybe it is just kind of a case of these pieces fitting different on other teams. That I do think Pat Bev is far more valuable to the Milwaukee Bucks than he is to the Philadelphia 76ers from an on-court standpoint. That one of their biggest needs this season has been that perimeter defense and just on the defensive end as a whole. So Pat Bev does add in that category. So I do see how the parts fit, and we'll see what Kyle Lowry looks like in a Sixers uniform.
All right, yeah, hopefully tonight.
Not tonight now.
No.
Ruled out for reconditioning, so he'll join after the All-Star.
Reconditioning? Kyle, what the hell you been doing for the last month?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Oh, whatever. A little disappointed by that. I thought for sure he was going to be suiting up this evening.
Especially against the Heat, too. I thought there was a good a good moment for it to happen, but we got to wait till after the All-Star break.
All right. Fire up DraftKings Sportsbook. Once again, Sixers 3-point home faves. Are you surprised by that number? I'll tell you right now, I like the Sixers tonight.
I do as well. I am a little surprised. I was kind of expecting the Heat to be. Heat are very shorthanded as well. Still no Jimmy Butler, that he's away from the team. Got a bunch of other knocks that they're dealing with as well. So this is a number that I could have seen going either way. I am surprised that there's some support for the Sixers based on them being as shorthanded as they are, but they got a little momentum and coming off playing some really good ball. So I think they're exceeding expectations thus far since the trade deadline.
All right. So some of the numbers here as far as DK Flash and his props, player props, point props, excuse me. Tyrese Maxey 27.5, which look, let me pull up his numbers. I don't know like what he's been cooking as far as hitting those totals, but 27.5 is Tyrese Maxey. I just get the vibe of the under, but however, he's back at home, so I would not take the under there. Oubre's at 18.5. Buddy Hield from 13.5 last game, where he went for 24. I think he finished now 3 straight games in a Sixers uniform over 20. We're getting more, 17.5. I'll still take the over on that.
Yeah, I'm leaning still the over as well. I also got eyes on his assist prop that in his 3 games with the Sixers, he's had 6 assists, and 8 assists. His over-under sitting at 4.5 in tonight's game. That he has proven he's got a little more chops as a playmaker than he's been given credit. And he's made some more advanced passes than I expected. A couple skip passes to the corner, some making decisions off the pick and roll. Those are things that we didn't see a lot of from Buddy Hield in other uniforms. He's getting the opportunity with the Sixers, and he is performing in it. So that assist number is pretty appealing to me, too.
Tyrese Maxey, last 5, he's gone over the... which 27.5, is that what that number was?
Yep.
He's hit that one time. He had that against the Wizards when he finished with 28. Other than that, since the 51-point game against the Utah Jazz, 23, 15, 12, 28, 22.
Yeah, he's getting blitzed a ton right now.
Yeah.
They're throwing 2-3 guys at him, and it's a whole different ballgame when you're number one on the pecking order from an opposing standpoint on a night-by-night basis. Tyrese is learning that a little bit. He's still mostly played very well, so even though the stats aren't coming as much, I haven't been disappointed in his level of play, but it is tough to get to these types of numbers when you're getting that type of defensive attention.
Paul Reed versus Bam.
I like it.
Paul Reed going to eat tonight? 9.5.
I do like that 9.5.
Wow.
I'm not a Bam Adebayo guy. He's grown on me.
Yes.
I think I don't want to say stylistically they're similar is a better way to put it with Paul Reed and Bam. So I do kind of like that from a matchup standpoint. I also like the combo side of things, that I think Paul's a guy that can have a quick round of rebounding in a hurry where he racks up 3 or 4 over the span of like 2 minutes. I love when he does that. His points and rebounds combo sitting at 18.5. I think I like that number a little bit better than the pure points, but I do think Paul Reed has an opportunity to play really well and has some momentum after that game-winning block really against the Cavs last game.
As you pointed out, no Jimmy Butler, no Josh Richardson, no Terry Rozier, all out, and the NBA All-Star game on the horizon. I believe this is the last game for both squads. And I'm sure that the Miami Heat are ready to get back. Those that aren't heading to Indianapolis, if any of them are, I don't know, what 3-point, whatever, who knows? They want to get back home. So I think this is a stone cold Sixers play for anybody out there. I like it. We'll see what Julian Edlow has to say when he joins us coming up at 3:35 from DraftKings Sportsbook. Anything else from the Sixers perspective or the Miami Heat in this game?
Yeah, I think the Buddy assist is probably my favorite. Even the Buddy, I'm still riding the Buddy Hield props. That I think that this is Vegas is not quite caught up to how much he's being asked to do right now. And by the way, if you really want to project forward, I think there's going to be an opportunity to slam some unders from Buddy Hield once we get guys returning to the court. I think those numbers are going to keep drifting up for now. And he just has the opportunity to shoot the ball a ton right now. Like looking at these past games, 21 shot attempts, 16 shot attempts, and the last game where he still had 24, only shot the ball 13 times, 8 3-point attempts. So he's going to get the opportunities. Now's the time to play the Buddy Hield props for sure.
All right. Let's go to another game on the card, and let's go to the hottest team in NBA, the Charlotte Hornets. Winners of 2 straight. I think the game before that they covered, so ATS 3-0 in their last 3. Taking on the Atlanta Hawks, catching. Here's how you know they're hot. It opened up at 8 in some shops, now down to 6.5 here on DraftKings Sportsbook. So money coming in on the Charlotte Hornets tonight. 238.5 is your total. Kind of lean into the under. I was looking at that a little earlier. I just think, again, I'm going to play into this card that everybody is looking at the finish line fast approaching. So I don't know you'll get the best effort from both squads tonight, but Charlotte catching 6.5 at home. Do we dare play the hot hand in the dice game here?
I can't talk myself into the Hornets still. That it's just you never know what you're getting from that team on a night-by-night basis. And the Hawks are somewhat similar in that. The Hawks do play with some quick pace, which I think could give the Hornets some issues that defensively they've had their struggles this year as a whole. But I just can't bring myself to ride with Charlotte. There's just not enough there on a consistent basis. Brandon Miller's been fine. Miles Bridges has played very well lately, but can't talk myself into it.
Oh, man. All right. So we got the NBA stuff, and we got Julian Edlow joining us. We do have some breaking news, 2 parts. Let me get you to the one off the field. Steve Wilkes, defensive coordinator for the 49ers, fired. That get you all choked up? You a big Steve Wilkes guy? Fired. Well, he's the scapegoat for the 49ers. I don't know. There's definitely something going on behind the scenes there because I think we started hearing some rumors and that was a question that was posed to Shanahan yesterday. Will he be back? I don't know what the contract deal is. I think he's a pretty damn good defensive mind and ultimately earned that opportunity to be the head coach with the Charlotte or with the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah. And
you all right?
Yeah. A little choked up there.
Wrong tube, huh? Good grief.
Yeah. And
Take your time.
Well, with defense being the strong suit of that 49ers team, especially a surprise, after a Super Bowl run, you can't ask for much more.
What happened to you? Did it go down the wrong tube? Was that what happened?
Yeah, I went full wrong pipe there.
Chaminard's choking over here. All right, take your time, brother. It's all good. And then, to the serious stuff. I feel terrible. This is the state of the world we're in right now, state of America. Apparently, minutes after the Kansas City Chiefs players vowed to go for a 3rd straight Super Bowl title on the stage, over 20 gunshots were said to be heard left of the stage. there's all sorts of breaking news. The Sky Sports News. Kansas City police say multiple people have been struck after shots were fired in the city during the parade for Super Bowl winners Kansas City Chiefs. Come on, man. The hell is going on? Yeah. Oh, this is ridiculous.
Videos look horrible.
Oh, my Lord. Wow, that's heartbreaking.
Especially what should be like a completely festive day and like one of the more positive things. Horrible.
It's sad, man, and we just continue to do nothing. Just ho-hum. Can't infringe on anybody's rights. Just continue to do nothing. I don't care where you stand on any of it. I just, we're letting our kids down. That's all I know, because I have a young one, a 4-year-old, and that's the only thing that goes to my mind. When any of this stuff happens with schools being shot up, and it's just like politicians, they're the worst, and we just can't even have a conversation about it. And it just continues to be the same old madness. And I have no idea if you could have done anything different about that, but like, I hate guns. I hate guns. Always have, always will. Hate them. But, it is what it is. I just, because we're a sports show and we don't go down that path, so whatever, we're going to keep it moving here. And nobody, if you're listening to us, you don't want to hear any more about it either. So regardless, just nothing will change, and we'll continue to see images like that in our country, day after day, week after week, month after month, 365, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. It's sad. With that being said, let's get it back over to the NBA, and Julian Edlow from DraftKings Sportsbook will join us on the other side. Don't go anywhere more after this.
Spreads, totals, and all the prop bets in between. It's the gamble. No price beats a warehouse prize. And now, during world famous Gary Barbera's Jeep Warehouse Liquidation, brand spanking new Jeeps are up to a real $15,000 off. Every brand new Jeep in Barbera's massive in-stock and indoor Jeep warehouse is now available for direct purchase. No, nothing in the middle. Buy them right out of the warehouse today during this wall-to-wall liquidation the Gary Barbera way. We're talking real one-time savings of $15K. Hey! No price beats a warehouse price. So get your butt to Barbera's. Row after row, ready to go directly out of the warehouse with a liquidation cold cash price slash up to $15,000 off. Is Barbera the best? Boy, I guess.
All Barbera offers on approved credit. $15,000 of a brand new Jeep. Only while supplies last. Get details at 1-800-Barbera.com.
Hello? No price beats Gary Barbera's warehouse liquidation price. Up to $15,000 off a brand new Jeep. Come on. Is Barbera's on the boulevard the best? Boy, I guess.
QC Kinetics patient Robert Patterson, a veteran and business owner, struggled at work and in the gym with chronic agonizing shoulder pain.
Those injuries just continue to nag, and if you don't treat them, they just get worse. And I just kind of abused my body for a long time, and it finally had said enough is enough.
That's okay, because QC Kinetics tells your pain, hey, enough is enough. Their regenerative treatments bring you relief by helping restore and repair damaged tissue with no drugs, no downtime, and best of all, no surgery.
I was able to exceed the goals that I had previously attained in the gym. It was absolutely worth its weight in gold, so I could continue to live life without limitation.
Ready to get lasting relief from your joint pain? Call QC Kinetics to learn more about how natural biologic treatments can get you lasting results. Call now. It's a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000. That's 215-999-3000. 215-999-3000.
Tax Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. This tax season, you get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a Samsung Galaxy A14 included when you buy an extended Silver Unlimited plan. So you can give your janky phone to your kid. Yeah!
Switch to Straight Talk for plans starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com. Device offer ends 4/14/24. Online only. Family plan discount with 4 lines, all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
Don't miss huge savings on better sleep during Mattress Firm's President's Day sale. For a limited time, shop in store to score a Sleepy's Queen mattress for only $89.99. That's over 60% off and the lowest price ever. So hurry in today. This deal is only here while supplies last.
This is former Notre Dame quarterback Brady Quinn. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Progressive Insurance.
A third straight win will be within reach for the Sixers tonight when they host Miami. This will be Philly's last game before the All-Star break. The Phillies officially started spring training today with the first workout for pitchers and catchers. Full squad workouts begin on Monday. Rapper Kanye West is denying a rumor that pop star Taylor Swift had him kicked out of Super Bowl 58 after buying a ticket near her suite. I'm Seth Everett.
Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
I do it for the ladies, but I gotta keep it hood. Where we at, Polo? I see you, Ryan.
Little Valentine's Day out there for you kiddies. Take care of the loved ones. And if you have a child, don't forget to pick something up like I did as well. I felt terrible. How bad am I that I made Valentine's Day cards for her little preschool, the whole nine. And then my wife comes down last night and she goes, "You didn't get her anything, did you?" And I'm like, no. Felt horrible. But I made up for that this morning. I raced right to CVS bright and early. It was like, hey, everybody, happy Valentine's Day. I'm not that bad of a monster, I promise you. All right, let's head out to the Gambler Hotline. I know you're looking at me with three eyes right now. Like, look at you, dude. You got a beautiful 4-year-old. You forgot to buy her some chocolates. Joining us right now, this gentleman knows a thing or two about a thing or two when it comes to the association. A perfect guy to have on today in his normal spot, representing the folks from DraftKings Sportsbook, Mr. Julian Edlow. Julian, how we doing on this beautiful afternoon, sir?
Hanging in there. I'm looking forward to this All-Star break. A little bit of time to post-Super Bowl, post-football season, a little bit of time to relax.
Can we wax poetic a little bit about the Super Bowl that just took place and how finally won for the, I guess you could say, squares, right? I knew very few people that were taking the 49ers, but man, what a sweat that was, Julian. Finally to be on the right side. It felt good, though.
Yeah, like I was saying, I don't think it's square, sharp, whatever, when it's the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Especially in like essentially a pick'em game, let's call it. Like, I don't think the majority of bettors, I think, were betting money line. Like, even if you like San Francisco, -120, -125, you're probably betting the money line in a game like that. The majority of the public just took the plus money with the Chiefs. I did take the +2.5. In the end, none of that matters. Only 7 times in the Super Bowl has the spread mattered. So it was a heck of a game. I saw Steve Wilkes just got fired.
Yeah.
The Niners defensive coordinator. Shanahan said that. I don't know about that, Kyle Shanahan. He held Mahomes in check for 3 quarters?
Mm-hmm.
And so that seems a little desperate by a guy that I think is pretty good at his job in Steve Wilkes. Kyle Shanahan, maybe a different story. But it was a great game. Mahomes is just that guy. If it's a close game, if you give him a chance, he's going to finish you. Very Brady-esque. Yet I saw a stat that in games where you have the ball in the last possession of the fourth quarter or overtime, down within a score, Brady, I believe, is 5 out of 11 to get, whether you're down 3 and or 2 and you need 3, or 3 and you need 3, or down 4 and you need 7. Brady got the amount of points he needed 5 out of 11 times. Mahomes is now 7 for 7, getting the amount of points he needs when he has the ball down in the last 2 minutes in the fourth quarter or overtime. So he's well on his way. These things are hard to maintain. You remember the Patriots got 3 out of 4, like a 10-year layoff, and then that was the next bundle of 3. It looks like they've got something pretty sustainable going on, but that was an awesome game. Very impressive by the Chiefs. Plenty of mistakes by the 49ers, and it led to a great finish.
Yeah, the one thing that surprised me about Mahomes was when they flashed a stat that he's been down double digits in all 4 of his Super Bowls. Now, I knew the one because of Tampa Bay, and I knew, of course, that they ended up winning that, and I knew the one from last year with the Eagles, but I drew a blank on the other 2, and I'm like, good grief, and this guy comes back and wins again.
Yeah.
Incredible run.
Mahomes versus Shanahan is kind of the perfect thing, the perfect scenario where after the game, you're like, why would I not bet the Chiefs? You just said it. Mahomes has the double-digit comebacks in all those Super Bowls, and then you have Shanahan, who's been in the Super Bowl 3 times and been up double digits in all of them in the second half and lost all of them.
It's ridiculous.
It was
Absolutely.
right there in front of us. What
Yeah.
was going to happen, right?
Yep, exactly. No, you're right about that. Talking to Julian Edlow from DraftKings Sportsbook and putting a bow on the NFL season. Of course, all things football, but draft fast approaching. And you got anything lined up? You looking at anything yet? Do you have anything as far as open wagers as far as the NFL draft is concerned?
I'm not there yet.
Okay.
Caleb Williams has his issues, but I think a lot of these quarterbacks do. I think Drake May has, people get on Caleb Williams for being soft, being full of himself. I think, Drake May has some issues in the same categories. And I think Jaden Daniels is a great talent. I don't know if he's got the build yet. Like, all these quarterbacks have some issues. Marvin Harrison Jr. really intrigues me. I think he's a can't-miss receiver. But again, we got teams near the top of the draft. Like, any of them could move these picks. We know how New England likes to move back, although with Bill gone, do the Patriots finally hold strong, take a high talent pick and try and build around that? I don't know, but there's a lot of questions in this draft. It's a weird quarterback draft. I think it's a very talented receiver draft. And once we get some more information, we'll start getting to betting it. I'm a big NFL and NBA draft bettor, so I will happily welcome the NFL draft information when it starts to circulate. And hopefully, being here in New England, I can get a little bit of homework done on that number 3 pick and what's going to happen there.
I like that. All right, and you can find him on all things socials at Julian Edlow. That's EDOOW. Of course, nice work by you and the DraftKings folks over the last week with the Barstool announcement. Doesn't get much bigger than that. I've always had the saying, like, if it's on the internet, it's basically by Barstool. They have controlled my timeline for years now, and everybody else's. Whether you're a fan or not, you're getting hit by something Barstool. So that's a big dang deal by, of course, all things DraftKings. And then those boys go out there and shoot free throws for 48 hours.
Our guy Pat Bev, too.
Yeah, Pat Bev shows up. Just like, what is going on? So DK continues. I guess the saying is now to the moon for DraftKings. Nice work there, Julian. All right, let's go ahead and talk some NBA, man. Let's get to what we got going on right now. Now, I'm curious as far as the card. We got a full card, right, Julian? Couple games tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, and then nothing on Friday. Yeah, 3 games tomorrow, nothing on Friday. The finish line is there for a lot of these players. If you're not going to Indianapolis, taking part in the game, I highly doubt you're going to All-Star Weekend, so you're going to go relax. Is there anything on the card tonight that, maybe you're expecting the team not to show up? Is that a part of your handicap at all? As I said, the All-Star break, the finish line is right there on Friday for these teams.
We have one spot that I invested in pretty heavily, and I just went back before we went on air and invested some more due to a piece of news. So Jazz minus 5.5. It might be up to 6 by now, but that 5.5, 6 range. Perfect combination spot in terms of a good spot for Utah, terrible spot for the Lakers. So we got the Lakers on the road here. They're 11-16 against the spread on the road this season. They're going to be without LeBron. LeBron's taking this one off. So they played last night at home, smoked Detroit. They're just giving LeBron an extended All-Star break. But doesn't that kind of gives the team permission to punt and be on the All-Star break when you give, your best player a break early? It looks like Anthony Davis, he keeps playing. He's trying to play a lot of games this year. It looked like he would be good to go. They tagged him questionable right before this segment started. So now they're starting to, weather a little bit on if Anthony Davis is actually going to play here. Getting tagged questionable midday tells me that's a downgrade. He's probably going to take the night off as well. And they have a couple of other role guys off. So Lakers are 2-7 against the spread with no rest. They're on the second night of a back-to-back, going in elevation in Utah. Jazz are off consecutive losses to the Suns and Warriors. They want to get a win before the break. They're playing all their guys. And Utah's the best ATS team at home in the NBA. They're 18-7 against the spread at home, covering by 7.5 points per game. Home favorite, 7-2 against the spread, covering by over 10 points per game. And when they play with a rest advantage this season, Utah is 9-2 against the spread. Everything's coming up Utah in this home spot with a rest advantage, healthy. Lakers kind of punting it, played the night before, checking out for the break. This is the spot that jumped out to me tonight in the NBA. Probably my last play, unless something really pops tomorrow. Probably my last play until next week when things come out of the break.
I love it. I think that's a slam dunk. Now, 5.5 is what we're showing here in Philly on DK. And is this so 5.5? You're comfortable laying that? Are you comfortable laying 6.5 if it gets higher?
6 if you need to,
Okay.
but what you said it's 5.5 right now.
Correct.
So let's just do it.
All right. I'm in. No, I'm in. I'm just,
Do it now.
they might get a little itch a little later too. And when I get home and get some more bravado as well. So, and especially if
The old staring down the play all day, and then you feel like you got to add to it.
Exactly, which always works. It always works. Talking to Julian Edlow from DraftKings Sportsbook. I want to ask you about the hottest team in the NBA. Let's talk about the Charlotte Hornets. My goodness, winners of three straight ATS. Catching 6.5 against Atlanta. Any opinion in that game when you looked at it? Did you get it push either way?
I would lean to the Hornets the way that they're playing. Maybe carry a little momentum into the break. You're at home. You're getting 6.5. The Hawks are one of the worst against the spread teams in the league. The way Brandon Miller's been playing, he's maybe a guy to look at in the prop market for a game like this against a team that doesn't play much defense. But I have not fired on that one. But if I did, Hornets getting the points at home would be the side, and Brandon Miller points or 3-pointers made like that would probably be a good over in that one.
All right, let's bring it back to our backyard here in Philly, hosting the Miami Heat. Sixers are 3-point favorites. 225 is their total. Sixers, nice victory against the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are the hottest team in the NBA, or were at that point in time, winners of 17 out of 18. Miami, impressive win last night on the road to Milwaukee. Did they spill their bucket? Looking at the Sixers here, I like the Sixers -3 here tonight, Julian.
Right. Yeah, it seems like a good spot to come back and get Philly. Philly would be the side for me in that game. Just kind of a buy low spot on them. Sell high on Miami. Also looking at potentially some Heat props, because last night in Milwaukee, they were without Jimmy Butler, without Terry Rozier, without Josh Richardson. Those guys all remain out. And who knows if somebody else winds up sitting on the second night of a road back-to-back. So I think Duncan Robinson had 23 last night. Nikola Jovic had 24. You had Hero had kind of an off night, but some of those guys, they just have to get minutes. Somebody's got to do the scoring for them. So I do like the Sixers on the side. I think there might be a little bit of value with player props on the Miami side.
Yeah, and I think on the Sixers side of things, a little bit of a similar situation with all the injuries that they're dealing with. Buddy Hield's a name that I want to throw out there. And then we know that we're quite excited about how Buddy Hield has looked so far in a Sixers uniform. I still think the props are a little bit low on him. The 17.5 points and the assists specifically are something that's jumped out to me. At that number is sitting at 4.5. He's had 6 assists in 2 out of the 3 games and 8 assists in the others. How do you feel about the Buddy lines at this point in time?
Yeah, the assist numbers are pretty impressive to come into a new situation known as a scorer and, be getting whatever that is, 7 assists a game in your first 3 games with your new team. I'm worried if that's fluky in a small sample size, because that's not his MO. So is he, if he's going out of his way to pass more, it's working. It's not a bad thing. So I can't spin it into a negative in any way. I just question if it has to drop off at some point. Like Buddy Hield isn't a 7 assists per game guy, so is his number a little inflated now due to the recent success? I would have to feel out the assists a little bit more on Hield, but no Embiid, plenty of shots to go around. They need scoring, so the point prop probably would interest me more out of the two, but you guys have seen more of him in the last 3 games than I have. If he's in that distributor role, and
I'm not sure which is which. Police said 2 people were taken into custody. Jesus Christ. I think 1 person died.
Yeah. What up, Buster? What up? How we doing?
What, are you? No, yeah, we're dealing with dumb shit right now. They're just completely shut down in the middle of the show, so I don't know what's going on.
Awesome.
Yeah, great
Cool. WWE stuff. I have a little bit more intel in. My guy went ghost on me, but finally came back because they merged the companies and they fired everybody in his department. So he was freaking out the last few weeks. He hit me today, so